Fishy jerks. Fish and jerks.
Hey,
Hey,
buddy.
fishy jerks, head fishy jerk.
We've got another fishy jerk.
That's me. I'm
Ryan,
a
the
fan.
fishy jerk.
I'm a fan.
PNW Aqua, formerly Natural Aquariums, formerly, well, I won't say it because his name was in it, his full name.
You could say
Formerly Ryan Brown.
That's me.
I do like the change. That's a good name. Real quick, let me just run through a couple things for anybody that happens to be new. People are still trickling in. So, and I think everybody already knows this, but so this whole thing's about learning more about Ryan, about PNW Aqua. So the whole first part of the show is going to be just Ryan and I having a conversation. We're not going to be looking at the chat. Now, I say that, but I just started getting super chats and I don't want them to go unacknowledged. So I'm going to ask you something, maybe even hold off on super chats until that point. We can talk about them. I don't know. I don't want to say, hey, don't throw money at me.
You got to figure it out, huh?
Yeah, it's new. It's brand new. It's only the second stream. But the second half of the chat, we will 100% open it up and you guys can ask questions of Ryan. And real quick, I'll address these two. Whip, thanks so much. He said, I should have been the first to do this, but you had to go and throw in that bonus focus on this afternoon. Congrats on the big 1,000, you fishy jerk. Hey, Whip, thank you so much. And then, of course, Matt, Liquid Zoo, keep being you. I don't know what that means, though, because coming from Matt, I don't know, it sounds suspect.
Yeah. I mean, everything coming from Matt sounds a little suspect, but, I take it as a compliment, and yeah. Yeah, I think obviously people like you. Congratulations on the 1K subscribers and becoming monetized and being interrupted with super chats. I don't know if you should. I don't know if you should limit people when they super chat or anything. I don't think you can anyway. So
no, I couldn't.
That's up to you.
I don't know what we were going to have to work around it. I guess. I mean, it's a horrible thing having people throw money at you. It reminds me of my days back when. Oh, never mind. So anyways, again, for anybody, we don't look at the chat for the first half. We're just going to be talking, and then we'll open up the chat to the second half. So if you come in and say hi and I don't respond, that's why. If you have questions and stuff, we don't talk. You guys talk amongst yourselves, and once we get to know a little bit about Ryan, we'll open it up. So
it's kind of like one of my streams where I pretty much ignored the chat. Which I always feel terrible about, but it doesn't seem like people mind too much.
Well, it's hard sometimes though, because you do a lot like what we're doing now. You bring up somebody, and you're like we said before, your focus is a little bit more fishy related. You try to learn more about them as a person, but also their role in the hobby and stuff. So it's a cool show though. I've been on it. A lot of other cool fish keepers have been on it, and it's a lot of fun. Ryan's a good guy, and if you aren't subscribed, and you know what? I don't see a single. Wow. Oh no, there we go. Mikey got it.
Yeah.
So did Matt. Okay, Matt, you guys got it. Okay, I was almost.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Yeah, keep dropping that if you guys would, as every few minutes, every 10 minutes, whatever, drop Ryan's link just to make sure that anybody that comes in that doesn't know Ryan gets a chance to go look at his content and subscribe if they like it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's jump in. So, hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah. How about yourself?
Day? You work from home?
I do. It's a kind of a combination of working from home and out in the field. But yeah, as far as my office goes, I'm sitting in it right now.
Gotcha. What do you want to dig into that? What do you do for a living?
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you'd like. So I am a technical consultant for an epoxy company. They specialize more in industrial type. Kind of our tagline is to repair, protect, and improve the performance of both machinery and structures.
Oh, okay.
And so, for the most part, these are epoxy compounds that can be used to rebuild things or protect them or make things less dangerous or things like that, make them perform better.
Gotcha. So when you go out in the field, what kind of things do you do when you go go out there?
Yeah, so I call myself a technical consultant because that's my title. But basically, I'm a product representative and a salesperson. So sometimes I'm in the office here, making phone calls or sending emails to try to get the word out about our product and help people understand what they can do. And then sometimes I'm out visiting people to try to make that touch another way, or
Gotcha.
they'll agree to have me in to make a presentation to them on, if it's a marine thing or a wastewater treatment plant or a pulp and paper mill or whatever, what kind of solutions that we have that can benefit them and reduce their costs from, having to replace things
Gotcha.
or to downtime.
Gotcha. And does anything that your company sell have any applications for our hobby?
I've considered, it's kind of a dream of mine to have a rather large aquarium. Currently, my largest aquarium is 125 gallons, but I'd kind of like to have one built, and then you could, we have, a lot of our products, we have 85 different products. A lot of them are similar to each other, just made for different conditions and whatnot.
Sure.
But you could certainly coat the inside of a tank or something that was built with some of our products. And I thought that would be kind of a cool thing to, tie in both my hobby here, and then I could, use it as a sales pitch, basically, too, that I have a, 500 gallon fish tank that's coated with this product.
Maybe you
and
can even
then
get
to get back to like out in the field, I guess there's another component of that as well. Sometimes when people choose to purchase our products, then part of our service is to go in and train people on how to prepare the substrate, how to mix the product, how to apply it. They're kind of high end products, so they're not inexpensive by any means. And all those things that you do, all the preparation is really key to having long-term success.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So you give them that little class on how to use it properly, so that they're not wasting their money.
Yep. And that's really a cool part of my job, is that I get to go around and, I've been on a bunch of Navy vessels, a bunch of, several cruise ships, inside, pulp mills and wastewater treatment plants and manufacturing plants and stuff like that. Prior to getting into industrial work, then, I kind of heard that nothing's made in America anymore. And, fortunately, to some degree, that's not entirely true.
Gotcha. Maybe you could also get your company to pay for the tank, because it could be that marketing tool, or at least, go in halvesies on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like what you're thinking. Yeah, for sure.
Because that would be a great tool to take video of it and show people how well it works to hold this massive amount of water together. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. So where this all occurs in the Pacific Northwest, obviously we can tell from your name. Where are you roughly?
Yeah. Some people don't know what the new name stands for. So that PNW, that is Pacific Northwest. I'm in Vancouver, Washington, which is, I don't know, some people I consider it a suburb of Portland. It's kind of got this unusual circumstance where it's across the Columbia River and in a different state, but it's part of the greater Portland metro area for sure.
Got you. Yeah. And you are a member of the Greater Portland Aquarium Society, right? You're actually, what are you, treasurer? No, what do you do there? You do something.
Yeah. So I'm a member, and then I'm also on the board there. A lot of people know Kenny E with Daniken Aquatics. He's our president right now. I was secretary, and now we've had a little shuffle, and I am now the treasurer.
Okay.
So I was secretary, and now I'm learning how to be the treasurer, basically.
I sort of shifted there, but back to where you live. Have you lived in that around Vancouver for most of your life? Have you lived in other places in the United States, or born and raised there?
Yeah. So I've lived here almost my entire life. I was born in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
I was born at the Air Force Academy Hospital there. My dad was in the Air Force at that time, 46 years ago or whatever it is. Yeah, we didn't. I don't remember being there at all. We didn't stay there very long at all. I think maybe a year, and then we moved to Portland, and then I think by the time I was 3 or something like that, I moved across the river to Vancouver. And I actually, if I looked out this window that's over this way here, I can, if the leaves aren't on the trees like they're going away right now, then I can see the house that I grew up in and lived there from time I was in like 6th grade through till I went to college and moved out and stuff like that.
Do your parents still live in the house or?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
That's still pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't know. It was kind of an interesting thing. We had a good relationship with my mom, and my stepdad lived there. And then he got involved in some drugs and stuff like that, and the relationship broke down very quickly and got really kind of nasty. And then fortunately, they divorced, and she got him out of her life because that he's not my favorite individual.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that,
Gotcha.
I suppose.
Gotcha.
And so there was a time period there where we lived next to my parents, and it was not such a great thing. We thought about moving to San Antonio, Texas, actually, for a moment.
Yeah.
But stayed here.
Would have been down with Rocco, but things cleared out and you got to stay.
Yeah, and I've traveled a bit, and I've seen some areas, not the entire country. Like I know you've been to like all the lower 48, I think, or
not
most
entirely. Yeah, pretty close. Your area actually is where I haven't been. I have not been in Oregon or Washington. Those are the two states I haven't been in. Hawaii and Alaska being the other ones.
Yeah, but I love it here, and I really have no intention of going anywhere. You never know what life throws at you, so you can never say never. But I love it here. It rains about 300 days a year, but otherwise the weather's really mild, and all of that rain makes things really beautiful around here. You've got access to an hour and a half to the beach, or an hour and a half to the desert or the mountains, and so it's there's a lot of beauty around here, and I'm really proud of living in the Pacific Northwest, hence the name.
Yeah, and I'm with you. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I mean, I've never actually been there, but I've been, I've seen a lot of movies and pictures, and I love being outdoors. I'm a birder and all that kind of stuff. So just watching documentaries from the area and stuff like that, it's just been amazing. The beautiful area. If I had to choose somewhere else, that's probably where I would go.
Nice. Yeah.
So
you're familiar with like the subreddit, what is it called, Earth Porn or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I look on there sometimes, and I swear like a good chunk of the posts are either from the Pacific Northwest or from like New Zealand, or some of these couple of other exotic places around the world.
There's some other subreddits like that too. There's a sky porn one that's the same type of thing, where that's just cool clouds and different stuff like that. And
nice.
Yeah, I really like those type of subreddits. Those are some of the better ones. So how did you get into what you're doing today? You didn't go to school to be an epoxy expert? How did you get into that? What's your let's start out. Let's go way back. What was your very first job ever? Did you do like the fast food like a lot of people do? Or
so the very first job I ever had, like as soon as I turned 15 and a half or whatever, I think in the state of Washington you can start legally working, and I wanted a job from the get-go so bad, and so I'm putting in applications at different fast food joints and stuff like that. And there was one night I was over at a buddy's house, and he gets a a call on the, this back in the day where the phone was on the wall and stuff. He gets this call, and he talks to the guy for a second, and he puts his hand over the receiver, and he's like, "Hey, you want a job?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, I want a job. He's like, "Well, here you go." And he's handing me the phone. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "They're calling to offer me a job, and I already have a job. And so you take the job." I'm like, "Well, they're offering you the job, not me." He's like, "Ryan, I wrote down my name and a phone number on a piece of scrap paper. That was their whole application process." Like, okay. So I take the phone, and I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, you want job? You come in and work now? It's this this place called Oriental Garden. And so I'm like, "Well, my friend, he was the one you called. He's already got a job, but I'd like a job." And they're like, "Okay, you come in tonight." And so, yeah, it was this, like I said, it was called Oriental Garden, and it was a Mongolian grill type place.
Ooh.
And so then I started just doing prepping vegetables and stuff like that. So lots of chopping and everything. And then I kind of ended up doing everything in there. So yeah, that was kind of one of the odds and ends jobs that I had. Those, when I was in high school and early part of college, I worked at a car wash. I did a summer vacation replacement thing where I drove forklifts for what was James River then, is now Georgia Pacific these days. Worked at another restaurant that that was a buffet type restaurant. I think you and Kelly were talking about buffets earlier.
Yeah, we were. What'd she call it? She called it vanity eating. Vanity eating. Yeah, I like it.
I was a dishwasher there, and man, people, how people run through the dishes at a buffet.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It was full board. And then I went to college, and I kind of put off college and started what was the first of what I say is like 3 different careers that I've had. And so I got a job after, all of those other kind of little jobs that I mentioned. I got a job just at a front desk of a hotel. And then they started, promoting me up the ladder there. So I was front desk, and I was front desk manager, and I was assistant manager. Then I became, one of the youngest general managers in the company. And I kind of pushed school off to the side, and just been working ever since, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah, that happens. I think that's a pretty common story. You get some success at something, and school doesn't seem as important anymore. You're making enough money you can see a path forward that doesn't include school. I see that. Gotcha.
So, and it allowed me to buy this house that I live in now, and it still works for me this day because we bought it so long ago that my mortgage is really inexpensive, and I work this job, and then my wife, she's a stay-at-home mom. And so, yeah, it's worked out well for us, I think. I would have liked to finish my education, and, there's no saying I can't do it another time if I chose to, but still not a major priority for me.
You said you're in your upper 40s?
Mid 40s.
Mid 40s.
Careful there.
Sorry. Well, my wife is.
No, I think I'm 46 if I remember correctly. Yeah,
I think you're supposed to know. I had to
look down at the date, make sure.
My wife is quite a bit older than you, and she just went back to school not that long ago to be an accountant after working in the healthcare industry for most of her life, actually. So, yeah, you definitely can go back to school at a later date and pick up those things. And if you're happy, I love seeing people go to school. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I think an education is one of the most important things you can do as a young person is get that solid education. But it's not for everybody. And you can make it without, there's definitely paths forward for people without that education. So,
yeah. And I think, sales is one of those primary ones where I'm at now.
Yeah. And if you're good at it,
yeah. I mean, sales is what you put into it is what you get out of it, in my opinion, and actually, when I kind of got done, I was in the hotel business for for 10 years. And then when I got done with that, I was looking to do something else. And then that's kind of, actually what I felt like was one of my weaknesses was sales. So I jumped, head first into a job that I managed a temporary staffing firm. Well, I guess I started there as a salesperson for them, and then I was promoted to the manager, the sales manager of that job. So that was kind of the second of these three careers there, being the first being the hotel, second being the managing that temporary staffing office, and then this current one. And that's kind of, what got me into sales, and then also got me more towards the industrial side, because this temporary staffing firm specialized more in industrial type labor, anywhere from day labor to more skilled type, like CDL drivers, welders, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay, so that was the connection. I was going to look there. Zen Ginger, what's up, Zenny? Good to see you, and thank you so much. Holy Super Chats, Rick Man, happy 1K. Thank you so much.
Nice.
I appreciate it so much. And again, all the people coming in, we don't even look at the chat. I know a lot of people have been saying hi and stuff. It's just going to be Ryan and I having a conversation for this whole first part of the whole show, and then the second half we'll open it up. So if you've been saying hi or asking questions and we haven't responded, that's why we leave that to the end. So and thank you so much, Zen Ginger. I appreciate it. Thank you. So that was the connection, though, was that they were sort of industrial leaning, and so that drove you into this epoxy job, sort of, or at least gave you
sort of. I worked tons and tons of hours, so lots of 60, 70 hour weeks, and I have my cell phone with me all the time, and all of the customers get, our number would forward to my cell phone, and somebody call up and, oh yeah, we need 40 people to do fish processing out in Astoria, which is like an hour and a half drive from here, and stuff like that. And so, I'd have to try to scramble together all these people that want to, be in this nasty smelling fish plant and stuff like that. Yeah. It was an interesting job. Lots of interesting characters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always struggled a little bit with the ethics of it, that I don't know, it's a little weird, and on one hand, you're helping some people gain employment that may not otherwise have skills to, write a resume or do interviews and stuff like that. And so, it's rewarding in some aspects, but, there were some elements of it that
I understand
that weren't really my favorite.
I understand. Ricky, thank you so much. Actually, that's the third time today that Ricky's pooped on me. So
wow.
Thank you, Ricky.
All over the place.
It's good that you're that regular. Thank you for being regular.
Yes, indeed.
And I did see real quick, I said we're not going to chat, but those distract me. And I did see that Lori, Monster Fish Gal, dropped Aqua Ball's link. He's getting up there. He's very close to 1,000. So if you guys if you don't know who George is, Aqua Balls, he's got a lot of cool different stuff. He's got salt. He's got freshwater. His name comes from ball python. So he's got different, he's got snakes. He's just got all kinds of stuff, and he's a great guy. So
George is a great guy. Yeah. I got some jellyfish from him one time. And so, yeah, very cool. He's got great tanks, and those, I'm not into the snakes so much, but those things, when he shows those off, those are really cool too. Some amazing patterns.
I don't think he does anything that doesn't focus on keeping the animal healthy. And real quick, also, since we're on that same topic, our friend Stephen P. Also got to 1,000. Same with Lefty. We all did within minutes of each other. It was very cool. But Stephen P. is lacking on some watch hours, and he has some playlists set up with his live streams. So if you haven't watched his live streams or whatever, maybe you could help him out with some watch hours too, guys.
He's not too playing all night long. Just turn the volume down. Help a brother out. Steven's a good dude. Yeah, I like Steven a lot, and I've watched a lot of his content. But I bet there's some. I was thinking about that today because I noticed you mentioned that when you were talking to Kelly Foreman, and I bet there's a few videos and stuff of Steven's that I haven't watched. So
and I wonder. I don't know this. I don't know for a fact. if you've already watched the content and you watch it again, does it still count as watch hours? If you
I would hope so.
rewatch,
I would imagine so, but I
I
don't
don't
know for
know.
sure.
I don't
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
I hope that it does, but maybe it doesn't. And
Mhm.
anyways, if you guys could, those two aqua balls he's getting up there, and please, watch some of Stephen P's stuff. And Mikey, thanks so much. He says, "Congrats, Mr. 1K. I really do appreciate all these super chats. It's so weird. It's going to take me a while to get
It's
used to
well
them."
deserved, Rico, man. I,
Well,
I I love watching your show, and
we talked about
and
that, and I don't
I've
know
had to
about well
limit
deserved.
myself recently because I need to sell some epoxies and get some work done. So I don't know if you've noticed, but yeah, yeah,
If you're in the Pacific Northwest and you're in need of epoxy, that's your guy.
yeah. There we go. Yeah, buy
Hook
some
him up.
epoxy from me so I can
Hit him
watch
up.
some more Rico stand.
There you go. Give him money so he can give us money.
Right. Yeah.
Well, how did you work? So we went through most of your work life there,
Yep.
but you did say you're married. How long have you been married?
Oh boy, 22 years I think it's
Nice.
been.
And how did you
Yep.
guys meet?
So up here in the Pacific Northwest, I don't know if I don't think they're everywhere, but there's a store called Fred Meyer, and that their kind of thing had always been one-stop shopping, and so you can go there and buy, they got a music area, or with electronics section. They got a grocery store. You can buy clothes there and stuff like that. And I had a friend that worked there, and I kind of go and hang out with her. And then I don't know, it kind of became it sounds kind of bad, but I guess it's the truth. It kind of became like they worked in the apparel section. So there's all these kind of, I was college age, and these young girls there in the apparel section. It kind of became my pickup section, So I go there and grab a compact disc and a
And a
6-pack
date.
of beer, pack of smokes, and pick up a wife. So yeah, I dated a couple of different girls that worked in that apparel section, and then my wife was the last one I dated.
Gotcha. You were just working your way up to it. That's all.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. I had to see what was out there, and then found the right gal for me.
How did that work? Run us through, if you remember. Again, it's been 23, 24 since you were single, right? So
yeah. So I mean, I think that was 25 years ago when like we had our first date just earlier this month. I think was the 25th anniversary of our first date. So,
and how did that work? So you'd go in and buy all your stuff, and you just go up and talk to the girl. I mean, walk us through? Give us some secrets here.
I started getting known around that apparel section. So I think a lot of times I'd honestly just go in there and just hang out in the apparel section with the ladies there. And
you're calling it the apparel section. Was it like women's apparel or men's apparel, or was it just a clothing section?
We got everything.
Okay, just making sure you weren't like hanging out in the bras and panties area picking up chicks.
Yeah, lingerie section, Yeah. Yeah, but they have it. Like I said, it's one-stop shopping. They got everything.
Yeah. And I've heard of Fred Meyer's. Yeah, I don't. Maybe California. I can't remember where I saw them before.
Well,
I don't think they had them in
ended
Arizona.
up buying them eventually.
Who did?
And that was Kroger.
Oh yeah, Kroger owns everything.
Yeah.
They own everything. They're like the Disneyland of grocery store chains. They own so many different ones. Disneyland.
And then like here in Vancouver, Washington, which is a pretty, I said it was a suburb of Portland, but it's still like the 130th, 140th, somewhere in that range, biggest city in the country. So it's pretty good size,
Yeah.
But they're one of the biggest employers, next to like the healthcare system around here and some of the school districts and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. Yeah. There's Paul Sotera. He's pooping on us 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
Paul's
adding to the pile.
He's had his fiber today. He must have had a big bowl of colon blow for breakfast.
Yeah.
Because he's an old guy. He's an old guy. So that's pretty impressive, Paul.
Nice.
And Paul, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Thank you. And again, it's It's weird. It's weird. Okay, so you met her in the apparel section.
Yep.
Got
Yep.
and
And then we were friends first, and then yeah, I remember being really nervous asking her out because I didn't want to destroy the friendship.
yeah. Oh yeah, I
But
get that. Yeah,
yeah, now I
same
got
boat.
both.
Same exact boat. My wife and I knew each other for a very long time. She was actually one of my good friends' girlfriends, and they had broken up. They had gone out for like 3 years. The whole time I knew her, she was his girlfriend. Um, and then they broke up, and like a year, 2 years later, we went out on a date, and that was it. That was
Hmm.
and that was we've been married for 30 years.
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
been together for 35, something like
Hmm.
that. There's
Hmm.
Ricky again with the poopy poop. I got
Yep.
to come up with something like poop poop, but that's Danny. So we got to find something special for the poop.
Yeah, I
Cacafuego.
don't know. Maybe check with her, see if that's cool, or yeah,
Make it
you're a
trademark. Poop
creative
poop.
guy. You could probably come up with something else. Me personally, I'm not good with names, so I'm probably not gonna help you out
we're,
too much.
we're gonna have to work on that.
Uh-huh.
The caca.
You can, actually, when I'm a moderator there on Daniken, because yeah, good friends with both Ken and Danny,
Yeah, great
and
people.
then every time somebody does that on there, I tell them thanks for giving a crap.
There
So
we go.
maybe you can steal that one, if you like it.
Matt says plop plop. Thanks for giving a crap. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. It's a
Yeah.
little long though, and I feel like sometimes because it's something almost scripted, I
Hmm.
would have a hard time saying it. I'm not very
Yeah.
good with scripted stuff. I'm very good off the cuff, but if I have something I have to say, or then yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll
Comes
come
out
up
a
with
little
something.
awkward.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not good at acting.
Yeah.
All right, so
Maybe.
wow, we're already a half an hour in, but I'm not going to open it up to the chat just quite yet. How are you on time for tonight too? Are you need to
I'm
go at a
cool.
certain time?
I'm
Okay.
cool. Like I said, I
That's
got some flexibility with my work and stuff
okay.
like that. And yeah, I got a text here, but it's just from some buddies that I go golfing with, and we go down to Vegas every year for March Madness.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's kind of a group
Is it
text
is
that
it
I
like
have with them,
a
and
hangover
so
type situation? I mean, is people,
yeah, I
getting
mean we're
locked and
all
drunk?
we're all in that kind of mid 40s range. I think we're pretty tame. I don't think our wives have too much to worry about.
Yeah.
We do quite a bit of golfing when we're down there, and
Yeah.
and of course betting on basketball games and other sports and stuff like that. Hang out by the pool, have a lot of good food and restaurants and stuff. With the COVID crap going around and stuff. Like 2 years ago, we didn't get to go. This last year we went, but it was really hard to get into any restaurants in the
Yeah.
area there.
Yeah.
They said you had to have reservations, and then you'd call for reservations, and the phone would just ring and ring and ring and ring
Yeah.
endlessly.
Not many people working, and uh too many people making reservations far in advance because they know about it probably. And
Yeah, and then there
um
was some stuff that was kind of closed down that wasn't open, and so I don't think that helped. But yeah, it seemed like there was a lot more people there than there was places to eat. So we'd end
oh,
up,
gotcha.
going to kind of some lesser places and waiting in these enormous lines to get something.
Yeah.
But we still had a great time.
So that's a great segue though. You talked about playing golf. What other kind of hobbies do you have besides golf? Is golf like one of your big ones?
I wouldn't say it's real big. There's some years where the down there is the only place
Hmm.
I golf. I try to at least go a couple more times a year, but at the very minimum, I do that. So yeah, I don't go golfing real
Okay.
frequently. I enjoy it. It's the most challenging sport that I've ever played. Usually, I used to be fast, and so usually I have some sort of advantage. But being fast doesn't help with golf too
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah.
But
And it's probably the sport where you are competing with yourself more than any other sport.
oh
You know what I
yeah,
mean? To be
yeah.
better each time. It's
Hmm.
so.
Yep.
Anyways, okay. So anyways, what else besides golf do you like to do?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe probably one of the bigger things would be, cooking and more towards barbecue and stuff like that. You talked about George earlier. He enjoys the barbecuing, and yeah, I've got a Traeger, so I like to, make some smoked meats and stuff like that. That's one of my favorite things to do, and share those with people, whether it's some jerky I've made, or a big old brisket, or just make stuff for the family. And my wife and I cook together. I deal with the grill and the Traeger and stuff like that, but my wife and I cook together and stuff too, and so we enjoy doing that. And then other than that, I mean, all I can think of is just like I kind of talked about earlier, is that I'm into sports a lot, so especially like the NFL, and more recently it used to be NFL and basketball, NBA. And college basketball, which is still is some college basketball because I want to prepare for that trip. But it's kind of turned from NFL and NBA to NFL and MMA. So, I watch a lot of UFC fights and stuff like that. And then my wife's actually gotten into that. And I've got another good buddy that he buys all the pay-per-views. So I go watch those over at his house and stuff like that. So, yeah, those are some of the big hobbies. Also, my son's really into video games, so
I was going to get there.
I try to spend some time with him in various ways, and yeah,
What's his name?
Play some games with him sometimes.
Starts with a T, right? Your son?
Yep. Yeah, Trenton or Trent.
I was thinking Trevor. I was in the ballpark.
Yep.
And how old is he now again?
He's 12 now.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a fun age.
Part of what this YouTube thing's been is one more thing that we can do together. So he's, I let him come onto the stream every once in a while, or he spent a whole stream with me before.
Yeah.
He's a little goofball, so I limit it a little bit, but then he helps me out with some videos and stuff too. I think without him, my videos could probably be fairly dry, so he adds a little bit of entertainment. I think, and like I said, more than anything, it's something other than video games that we can do together.
And he's got the longest name possible, right, for his actual YouTube name. Isn't he the one that's got the I've used all the characters or something? I can't remember what it is,
he did have that for a while. He was like me, he was following me, and for a while he was more Natural Aquariums, and then I ditched the Natural Aquariums thing. So then he had to switch it up, and for somebody's stream, I think it was like Danikin or something. He did that like the most possible characters and stuff. He enjoys
every single
towards character. Like the gaming stuff and everything too.
What kind of games do you guys like to play together?
So I don't know. I mainly play with what he's into, but I guess there's some that are kind of more towards just the two of us. He's really into Minecraft and Fortnite. I can handle Fortnite every once in a while, and I've played some Minecraft, but I'm really not a fan of it.
No,
and so he doesn't even try with me on the Minecraft stuff anymore.
Minecraft
and then there's a bunch of these little kind of, I don't know, that I would call more mini games and stuff. We've been playing Cuphead, I think it's called lately. We do that, like a cooperative thing there. There's a new one we just got that was free on the Xbox store. It's really fun and really funny. I think it's called like Moving Out or something like that for Xbox Gold members.
I can see I can see. Is that the one where you're doing deliveries?
Yeah, you like load up somebody's house or their farm or whatever, and I don't know. It's really cute how it's written, and the games are fun and funny. Yeah.
Gotcha. And Minecraft is so amazing because you can make anything. You make computers in it that actually work. You make all this stuff that does. You make machinery that does. Oh, it's just amazing. Oh, I didn't see that. Mike's Aquatics and Things just said Fantastic Freaks is only 97 away from 1,000. So I don't mean to stop the stream there, but those types of things always stand out. Again, that's another good friend. Austin's a great guy. Got a lot of really cool original type I shouldn't say original, but he's a big puffer guy. He's got like 10 different types of puffers. He's got some big tanks. He's got just all kinds of stuff. And he's a sports writer. You would like him. He's a sports writer for a newspaper in Iowa.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
I've heard him talk about the NFL a fair amount and stuff, and I've known he's named some fish after some NFL players and stuff like that. We both have Fahaka puffers, so I always have kind of a connection with some people that also have a Fahaka puffer.
Those are cool.
It's really, I feel really honored to have that fish.
I'd love to have one.
Fish to have.
Yeah, he's a good writer for the websites, I believe, and newspapers.
Okay.
He's done a lot of really, he's been doing that for a long time. The problem I have with the guy, though, is much like yourself. Now he's a Packers fan. You're a Raiders fan, so me and him, butt heads a little bit more.
Yeah, you guys are in the same division there, little rivalry.
Yeah, but it's fun, and he's like I said, Austin is a great guy, just like this guy here.
Yeah.
That guy here? No, this guy here. Again, we've been dropping his link, I hope, and making sure that people are subscribed to Ryan. He's a good part of the Fish Fam. He's doing cool shows, puts out good videos, but also supportive. You see him in a lot of different streams helping out people, and just, you always see him commenting on stuff. So he's one of those people that do so much support for us. I want to make sure we do back for him. So if you haven't subscribed,
thank you.
Take a look at his content, see if it's something you like, and subscribe to him. Hey, there's Streetwise.
I really enjoy this community, as I think a lot of people do. That's why, there's all these fine people in here.
It's a great community overall. It's amazing. I just, I found a home, here with the Fish Fam. And, okay, so we walked through your hobbies, and we talked about where you're from and what you've done and how you met your wife. You've only been married the one time.
Yep, just married once, and one child, one and done.
One and done. And that is that at your age, you don't want to have any more.
Nope. No. Yeah.
Okay. And now's a good time then. Let's go ahead and open it up to the chat where we're 42 minutes in. If you guys have questions, please do the @RicoStan. You can see the chat as well very well, right? You can read it and find it's fine. Yeah. Okay. So actually you don't have to do that @RicoStan. Go ahead and, well, I don't know if Ryan's, he might not be in the YouTube part of it. Are you? Sometimes when you come in, and you're only on StreamYard.
I pulled up the YouTube part of it. I used to just, like I said in my stream, I'm terrible about looking at the chat and interacting with the chat, and I think people understand that now. But in an effort to get a little bit better, I started putting up the YouTube chat next to StreamYard here, and I kind of like that format. So yeah, if you do @PNW Aqua or @RicoStan,
we'll see.
One of us should see it, hopefully.
And I were just talking about that today. Actually, is I think that a lot of channels, and myself included, don't do a very good job of interacting with the chat, because the chat, you and I can talk all day, but it's them being here is what's making the show. Otherwise, we're just we could just call each other on the phone. Them having them here is. And we should focus more on the chat. Now, that's why I started doing that afternoon show. Well, also just to give people something to do, but it's for me to focus on the chat and get better at dealing with it. So
and when you got just yourself on there, that's a lot easier to deal with. Me distracting you and vice versa.
Yep. So that's why I don't really bring people up very often in the daytime. If I do, I don't do that chat or noon delight. It becomes something different. Because it is too hard. It is too hard. So there's your first question from Richard Goger. What do we look for in epoxy to consider it aquarium safe, and what should we stay away from?
Yeah. So I've I have access to our technical department, and so there's chemical engineers back at our world headquarters in Miami, and I've asked some questions of this, and basically their explanation to me is that when it's 100% solids epoxy, and so that means that it cures by just the resins of the epoxy. They create a chemical reaction that produces heat that cures it. which is different than something that may contain solvent. So if something contains solvent, the solvent has to evaporate off for that product to cure. And that's when you get, those VOCs and nasty fumes and stuff like that. But basically what they've told me is that once that material is fully cured, that it's essentially like having, something that's plastic in your aquarium. Now, that being said, if you want to be safer about things, you can look for something that's NSF approved. And an NSF approval means that it's approved for potable water contact. So if we were going to coat the inside of a tank that people would be drinking water out of, or repair that tank, or a pump that pumps water that people drink, we have several products that are NSF approved. Like I said, we got about 85 different products. I think there's only 3 products that are NSF approved. My suspicion is that more of them could be, but that is a very expensive process to go through and to renew each year as well. So 100% solids epoxy should be pretty safe, but if you want to go that extra mile, I'd look towards something that's either made for fish, which there's some stuff out there, or that has that NSF approval.
Awesome. That's a great answer. See, it's good to have experts. It's good to have experts like this. Again, Kelly Foreman is an actual scientist. I mean, she's a scientist, a real PhD scientist. And she's willing to help people out if they have questions, and she'll come up on your live stream even. And if you've got questions that a scientist can answer related to fish keeping, obviously there's a lot of different types of scientists, but she has a lot of knowledge when it comes to that kind of stuff. And
I got to listen. I was kind of cruising around. I had to go visit this pump place earlier, so I was doing some driving. So I listened to a portion of that stream earlier.
It's just good to have the experts. That's all. It's you being an expert with this, and she's got her field of expertise. Did you see the one from Delilah there?
I did not.
Delightful Delilah. She just said, just sub to you, saw the description, mentions with nature in mind, was wondering, does Ryan ever pull inspiration from geographical locations or travel? And if so, where?
That, like, as you mentioned before, it used to be called Natural Aquariums. And, I think that kind of started just because I like the natural look of aquariums and stuff like that. And then, I really got into, Lucas Brett's, and, like this aquarium here, it doesn't have a filter on it and stuff. So, it became a little bit more of letting, Mother Nature do the work. And then, sometimes, when I'm out and about, I can, stop in these various locations, maybe collect a cool rock or a stick, or just, you've done it. I've done it. I've seen Lucas do it and stuff. But, when you're out in nature, you can get some inspiration from those things and say, hey, this looks cool. I can kind of do something similar in an aquarium. So for that matter, yes, but no real specific biotopes or anything like that yet.
No specific area there that's maybe close to home or something that you like to go and do collecting, and then you've gotten inspiration from. Nothing like that.
There's so many areas around here that I just kind of like to visit a few more. In fact, I filmed another area recently. I haven't edited and put it up on my channel yet, but I like to throw one of those in every once in a while, especially with the new name. Share a little bit of the Pacific Northwest with people, as well as what I'm doing with what me and Trent are doing with my aquariums and stuff, or our aquariums.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to that aquarium behind you, but then when you pointed it out, that is some nice red foliage in that tank. Look at the colors in there. Scarlet Temple there towards the middle left.
I turn the light down when I'm on the stream because otherwise it just blows everything out.
It's beautiful.
But, we got Limnophilia aromatica up here. There's a bunch of Godzilla Bucephalandra in there. some AR Mini, and
Here,
some
you
S
know what?
Repens.
Let's throw that up on the big screen there just for a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
If you can,
Maybe I
just so
can.
people can see it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Some good colors in there. And what's no CO2?
Well, there is CO2, but not right now because
Okay.
the tank just ran out the other day. So
Okay.
I just got it filled, and then probably after the stream, I'm gonna put
Okay.
that back on there. So yes,
Gotcha.
CO2, but
And what
not
kind of
technically right now.
fertilizers do you use in that?
You know, a lot of times, my 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 water has a fair amount of minerals in it. It's not
Okay.
super hard, you know. So we're talking 140, 150 TDS,
Yeah.
and
Which is good for your area, right? I mean, isn't that pretty?
yeah. So like a lot of times people know about like Portland or Seattle, they have extremely soft water, like
Yeah.
nearly RO water. You know, basically nothing in it. Like they're like 15 TDS or
Yeah.
maybe 9 or something like that. And so yeah, we're a little bit different on this side of the river. And then like, you know, Ken and Danny, they live just outside of Portland as well, on another end of Portland. And yeah, you know, they've got some minerals in their water and stuff.
Gotcha.
But I use some fertilizers occasionally, but a lot of times it's just water changes. There's like an ADA, an active substrate in here,
Okay.
so that'll give me something too. And then yeah, I have thrown some fertilizers in there. What I like to use is the Nylock G products, the dry fertilizers, and then I can, if I see a specific deficiency, I can kind of dose for that. And
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's kind of
But
how
it's not
I
you don't have
approach
a
it.
regular routine that you just when you
Not
feel
really.
like it needs
Sometimes I'll mix up with those dry fertilizers my own kind of recipe of
it.
a
Yeah.
all-in-one, or well, I still keep like the macros and the micros separate. And so like after I do a water change, you know, if I want to kickstart something in there, get it going, or if there's, you know, something that's struggling a little bit or something, then yeah, I'll add a dose of each of those just after a water change or something. But for the most part, you know, yeah, I feed the plants with the fish waste and yeah, and water changes.
It's a beautiful tank.
I thank you.
Okay, so scrolling down here. Oh, and the chat's going to jump on me.
I'm scrolling up because it went all the way down there.
Okay, so we've got, and again, if you see any, don't hesitate. But Dragon Lair, I see Patrick. Hi there.
Yeah.
I've used marine epoxy paint to seal plywood aquariums. Totally safe.
Mm-hmm.
And you agree with that? Obviously, he's done it. Patrick.
Yeah. Yeah. I
stuff.
mean, yeah. Once again, if it's 100% solids epoxy, which probably like a marine type thing would be like that, and then it's fully cured. You know, there's like on our products, there's a kind of a cure schedule. So based on whatever temperature it is, it's going to reach this, you know, this level of cure and that level of cure after so many hours or days or whatever. So I would make sure that it's fully cured, and before you introduce any livestock in there or anything.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
I was expecting like Ricky's question, you know, the movies and TV and stuff like that. But
well, there it is. I see it at
scared him
7:22.
away.
No, I see it at 7:22. That's funny because I was just looking
really?
at it.
Oh, no
What
way.
is Ryan's favorite movie and TV show? So for anybody who doesn't know, Ricky asked that for every focus on, I believe, since the very first one. So we've done, I think today marks our 47th, maybe.
Wow.
About 47
Impressive.
of them.
Impressive.
And I believe that Ricky has asked that in every single one of them. So Ricky, thank you for the support, and thanks for being here for every one of these shows. So yeah, what is movies and TV show? What do you get into?
Yeah, I mean, as far as movies go, you know, probably some of my favorites would be like I don't know, my 4 favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. You know, the Pulp Fiction, Django, Glorious Bastards, and then the newest one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. I mean, those to me are some of the best movies ever made, and movies that I can, you know, watch more than one time. I I really dig those. I was long time. I would say that Platoon was my favorite movie. That was one of my favorites. I also like, funny movies and stuff. And, Tarantino gives you a little bit of everything. But, sometimes I used to tell people that Booty Call or Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back were some of my favorite movies, too.
Yeah.
So
Booty
I like those
Call, I don't
funny,
remember.
goofy movies, too.
I don't remember Booty Call. I don't remember that one.
It had Jamie Foxx in it, and I don't know. I love it. I think it was hilarious. Yeah,
I don't remember that
Zoolander's
one.
Another goofy movie that I really like and stuff too.
I am a Kevin Smith fan, though. I do like Kevin Smith. Most of his movies I enjoy.
Yeah, we actually have a signed DVD copy of Mallrats that I got
nice.
for my wife.
Nice. The third one's coming out real soon. I believe it's soon.
Oh yeah, another Mallrats.
Yep. Oh,
And
no, I'm sorry. Clerks.
Oh, yeah, Clerks. Yeah.
The third
so
Clerks, not Mallrats.
I liked the first Clerks. I tried the second Clerks. I couldn't stand that movie.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I'm going to be into Clerks 3 or not.
Yeah, some of these, like the Bill and Ted one, the latest Bill and Ted. It was okay, but it just felt like it was just purely nostalgia. It really just didn't feel like anything other than just purely nostalgia. And
I remember when I was a kid and that first one came out, it was the biggest thing, and we were all into it, and I loved it, but I never saw the newest one.
That Circle K was not far from where I lived in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, really? No way.
There's strange things afoot at the Circle K. And the high school, San Dimas High, was actually a school too that was not very far away. They filmed a lot of it all in that area of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah. And it was George Carlin, right? There was kind of the guy there.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm also a big fan of comedy and stuff. So
especially George Carlin. He's one of my favorites. He's way up there.
For sure. I mean, he's one of the greats.
Ricky would like to know if you've got a favorite superhero. Are you into any of that type of entertainment?
My son's really into what do they call it? Marvel Cinematic Universe and stuff like that. So I've seen a lot of those. I think he's asked me like my favorite superhero questions a bunch of times, and I don't know that I could come up with one specifically that I liked more and stuff.
Gotcha.
I really like those the Endgame and the other movie that went along with it. I can't remember what that was called.
There's three of them, right? The Gauntlet. Jesus. Yeah, I have the books. They'll tell us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they'll tell us. But those great. I love them. I absolutely love them. And I've been a comic book fan for a very long time. And I actually, right before I got into fish tanks and stuff, this room was filled with shelves with comic books.
Yeah.
I still have them. I didn't get rid of them, but I have.
And if I remember correctly, there's still some in that room that maybe should be moved out because of the potential moisture issues.
Yes, they're in a closet over there. Now I do
use reminder, Rico.
I do use those packets, that come in just about any type of food these days. The silica packets.
Oh, okay,
so there's a ton of those all over the place in there. There's probably piles of them. But still, they should not be in here. But I don't really have some place to put them But there's a potential to lose a lot of those. But I did move out my graphic novels, which are basically, not singles. They're basically a graphic novel is usually like 5 single issues of a comic book in one. That's really what it is. Oh, those have all been moved out somewhere else. Gotcha. Okay. Right there we saw Richard. Richard said, what does the acronym NSF stand for? National Safety Foundation.
I do not know.
National Safety. I believe it is National Safety Foundation. Well, we need to find out now. We need to know.
Yeah.
I believe it's National Safety. And maybe somebody's already said it in the chat too. Let's see. National Safety. There it is right there. And somebody I'm sure is already National Science Foundation. Oh, maybe not though, because there's also the National Sanitation Foundation. U.S. Plastics. What does NSF mean? National Sanitation Foundation. National Standard
Um,
Format. Net Square Feet. Non-standard facilities. North Sea Fleet. Oh, here's a good one. The National Schizophrenia Fellowship.
that's probably it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's got to be the one.
Mhm.
So I guess, and again, I'm sure somebody in the chat's going to throw up what it actually is for in this application. Um, that's a
Yeah.
good question, though, Richard.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
kind of curious now too, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And Metalhead, what's going on, dude? He said, "Have either of you seen the Jay and Silent Bob reboot?" Um, and I felt that was almost like the one with Jay and Silent Bob. I felt like it was almost the same type of movie. It was. I didn't think it was all that great. I hate to say it. It was
Yeah.
almost identical to the Bill and Silent Bob. Bill and see now I got him. Bill and Ted movie. They were just so much alike. The same
Yeah.
basic idea. I felt like they were just a nostalgia grab. I really didn't. I don't want to say it's horrible. I still watched it. I'll probably watch it again someday. I don't think it was like an incredibly horrible movie. It just wasn't. It was too much of a not a continuation of the story so much, even though it was about their kids in both sense.
Mhm.
Patrick says he works for Circle K. Wow, I didn't know they were over in Georgia. Oh yeah, they or you're in Alabama, aren't you, Dragonair? I forgot that Circle K actually is a massive company now that owns a lot of different places that's not called Circle K. They're
Oh, really?
yeah, they have some that even up here in upstate New York, they own Speedway or Fast Track or something. I can't remember what it is, but we were in there and a lot of their stuff on the shelves was all Circle K. It was weird to see
Oh,
because I hadn't
okay.
seen it since I lived in a Circle K was big in the Southwest. It was Arizona.
Yeah, we never saw him. I don't know that I'd ever heard of Circle K before that movie came out. And then there's been a few here in the Portland area around, I think, but it's kind of weird when you see one.
Yeah. What is the big convenience store in that? Or 7-Eleven or is it something different?
7-Eleven's big time. There's another company called Plaid Pantry. I don't know if how wide Plaid Pantries go, but
Yeah, I've never heard of that
one of
one.
the ones around here. Mm-hmm.
Infinity War. That was one of the movies.
Oh yeah, Infinity War. That was the other one that I was trying to think of. Yeah, those two I really enjoyed. I don't know. I might have to go towards with all of those characters and stuff. Um, you know, Iron Man or Thor. I think those are some of the coolest within that range of characters and stuff.
Gotcha.
If I had to pick one,
those are good choices. I've enjoyed Marvel comics for a very, very long time, and I like DC as well. And on saying that, Ricky said for Ryan, the answer is always Batman.
I saw
Ricky
that.
is a big Batman fan. I
saw
actually
that.
we had a huge box of Batman figures that my kids are all adults, and we still have a ton of toys and stuff in the basement. So we're at little by little we're going through all the stuff and trying to give them away if it's decent. And we sent Ricky. I don't know how many Ricky was there. Maybe I don't know 30 figures or something. Most of them were Batman.
Nice.
This is a weird one from Whip. If a mysterious wraith were to manifest itself before you and grant one wish, what would it be? What would your wish be?
Easy. I would just wish that everyone would be nice to each other.
That's a good one. So how would that work? Would you wish for just that, purely just that everyone was kind to each other? That would probably
or I might take a greedy route and then wish for a bunch of money or wish to know like all the sports scores for the next 10 years or something. So I could, I don't know, maybe.
How do you do at betting?
Depends on what mood I was in.
Do you do okay at the betting that you do in Vegas?
My goal there usually is mainly to break even.
Yeah. And how many times do you actually break even?
It seems like about every other time, and I usually minimize my losses when I do lose, and sometimes I've come back with a little money, But yeah, for the most part, I'm mainly betting on basketball games, maybe a UFC fight or two, and then playing blackjack. So nothing too risky, really.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not a,
just it's
I don't
just
like
paying for
gambling.
entertainment, really. I don't
Yeah.
have any delusions of getting rich off of
Sure.
it. Every once in a while I'll throw a few bucks in the slot machine, but that's usually just not my game. Um, Sometimes we enter like a poker tournament, and I've placed in some of those poker tournaments before, so
Nice.
that'll certainly help,
Yeah. And
balance things out.
there is definitely skill involved with that. That's not just, there's skill involved. You got to know what you're doing with
Yeah, as
that.
far as
So,
gambling goes, I like to feel like I have some sort of control, not
yeah.
just pressing a button or pulling on that
Yeah.
one arm
I'm
bandit.
with you.
So yeah, blackjack, basically you got to follow the rules, but you have some decisions to make there.
Yeah.
And then, as far as sports gambling goes, yeah, you try to use whatever knowledge you have to predict things. But you've seen the performance of my fantasy football team. You can't always do that.
Yes. Well, I'm with you there, man.
Hmm.
Wow.
I've had some struggles, man. My
Me too.
first few picks probably could have been redone.
And
There's been a few games missed. It hasn't helped, but I don't know. Excuses.
yeah, we all go through it, I guess, with it.
Mhm.
I'm not a gambling person. I mean, I've gone to casinos a few times and stuff. My buddy, when I lived in Arizona, his mom worked in Laughlin, Nevada. So we would do a turnaround trip. It cost you $8 to this. You get on a bus with a bunch of other people, and it's like a 4-hour drive up to Laughlin. Maybe even longer. I honestly don't remember how long the trip was.
Yeah.
But you drive up there. They give you a nickel roll back out of that $8 it cost you, and then you also get a buffet breakfast. So for
Oh,
eight
nice.
bucks, because
Nice.
the casinos are trying to get you in, right?
Hmm.
So his
Yep.
mom worked at one of the casinos, so he would go up and hang out with his mom, go visit his mom, and I would just go sit at the machines because you also got free drinks if
Yep.
you were sitting at a machine. So I would just sit
Right.
with that nickel roll and sit at the machine and just slowly put them in there and get the free drinks. They're
Hmm.
watered down. I mean, I had
Yeah.
like 12 Long Island iced teas before I switched to canned beer because I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
uh,
I went through the same thing. Yeah.
it's fun though.
I
It's
had
fun.
like 12 whiskey sours one day, and I was barely feeling anything.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, maybe it's time to change to a bottle of beer.
a lot of
Yeah.
sour, not so much whiskey.
Indeed.
So Delilah, I think, says the National Sanitation Foundation is correct. It's a nonprofit founded in 1944 whose goal was to create standards for food safety and sanitation and promote public health.
Nice. Thank
So
you,
there we go.
Delilah.
But National
Yeah.
Science Foundation, Matt said, which is what I would have assumed at first, but that one even makes more sense. But when you say it, National Sanitation Foundation, you think that it's for, you know, janitors and such.
Hmm.
Hey,
I can
Daryl
see
Deemer.
the little seal, but
Yes,
I think it has something written around it. But
I
yeah.
believe it does. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
usually black and white, I think.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
seems like it's almost always black and white, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly,
Yeah.
or maybe gray. Daryl, thank you so much for that $10 super chat. I just, again, thank you guys so much. I just really appreciate it. It's going to take a lot of getting used to. It's like I'm seeing it when I see like Daryl's here. It's that bright yellow color, and it looks like I see those a million times in other chats, and I feel like that's somebody else just gave somebody a nice super chat. It's like, oh, cool. Wait, that's me. They're giving
Yep.
that to me.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Terry
Yeah.
says
It's
NSF
awesome.
International protects and improves global human health. Manufacturers, regulators, and consumers look to facilitate the development of public health standards and provide certifications. So it could be either one of those. I mean, those are both
Well, I
right
know
there.
that like there's other approval boards around the world and stuff, and so like some of our other products can. There's another approval board or whatever you call it called WRAS, WRAS, I think, that also like approves stuff for potable water. But I think that's like a British standard or something like
Okay.
that. So the company that I work for it actually started in Harrogate, England in 1952. So it's been around a long time. And then there's distributors of it all over the world. And that's who I technically work for is the distributor.
Are they still based in England? That same, I mean, or did they move
They
over
have a
here?
world headquarters there, one in
Okay.
Miami, Florida, one in Thailand, and another one in like Ottawa, Canada, I think. So yeah, they've got kind of 4
Gotcha.
hubs around the world. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right. Okay, here we go. We got, here's one here. Oh, Dragonlair said that Circle K is owned by a single family, the Cartus, and they're multinational. Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Wow.
I'll always remember strange things afoot at the Circle K. That'll be in my head to the day I die. Don't mention the Loblaws. Richard McCarthy says, is that Bob Loblaw? That's one of the best. Did you ever watch Arrested Development? The TV show? Okay, so they had a character whose name was Bob Loblaw. Blah, blah, blah. Bob Loblaw. And they went big with it. They made a website really for it and everything. They just went full on with this Bob Loblaw. It was a huge Bob Loblaw, attorney at law, and it was just a massive thing. It was so funny.
I don't think I ever made it all the way through the series. You know, I
Really?
always really enjoyed that show.
5 seasons, maybe 6. It's not a lot.
Yeah, I think I probably made it through like the first 3 seasons or something. I'm not sure why I gave up on it. I always really enjoyed it. You know,
I've done that too.
There's always money in the banana stand. You know, that much I know.
Yes, it's a great. I love those. That's my. You know, that's where I live in those types of TV shows. Is, you know, all that really silly
I remember you
stuff.
explaining that the other day, and then saying you were staying away from Tiger King, and I couldn't believe you never watched Tiger King, man.
And what'd you say? You said that I'm what'd you say?
I think you said you like stupid stuff, like all of these things, and I said that I think you're underestimating the stupidity of Tiger King.
Well, maybe I do need to watch it then, because I didn't know it was like that.
It can be absolutely hilarious. You know? Yeah, I think so. You know,
see, I thought it was sort of like a reality documentary type thing.
It is a documentary, but you know, I mean, this guy, he recorded everything and put it all on YouTube and stuff. So there's all these clips that they have to access and stuff, and he's so outrageous. And then the people that he's against, you know, Carol Baskin and stuff. She's an outrageous lady. There's all this controversy surrounding her. I don't know. I think it's very entertaining. I kind of think you'd like it. I don't know. It is more, you know, it's a documentary, and I'm into documentaries, so you know, maybe it's not quite goofy enough for you, and you know prefer more of the fiction type stuff.
Yeah, but, I definitely like scripted as opposed to reality. I don't like reality stuff very often, but scripted is definitely where I live that way. Stephen P, what's up, dude? Says, do you have a particular aquatic plant that you've completely given up on that just won't grow for you?
Well, completely given up. Maybe. You know, the Steven's kind of gone through this whole thing as well, but you know, everybody's into the Crypt Flamingo and Crypt Pink Panther and stuff like that. And I thought, you know, in fact, I think at one point I may have bragged to Steven because he had some trouble with that plant. And then I had tried some tissue cultures of it for a while, and then those had failed. And then I got some like immersed grown plants that I had some success with. I think those got shaded out and they've all melted back. But I do, so I've given up on those pretty much in the aquarium, but I do have like 11 of those growing immersed now still. And so I might try to convert them over in the future and stuff. And then kind of the weirdest thing is that, you know, a plant that grows fantastic for a lot of people, and is known as one of the easiest plants to grow, or groups of plants, Vallisneria. It just does not like my water. And, you know, I've tried, you know, plugging in some root tabs, and then I kind of forget, and they do like okay for a while, but I mean, nothing like it just takes over the aquarium like a lot of people have and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I really struggle with Vallisneria, and
That's
yeah,
weird how
I
that
pretty
works.
much have none of it to this
Yeah.
day because it's all melted back on me. So it's
I
kind
mean,
of a weird thing.
it is weird because well, even your live stream is called Planted Tanks, right? I mean,
Hmm.
you definitely are, you live in the plant world as far as that goes.
Yeah,
We
I
can
consider
obviously see,
myself a plant nerd, and
yeah,
you know,
you can
I
see it.
certainly don't know everything about it, but
Oh, yeah,
I try to know a fair amount, and yeah, I don't know, and
it's
that's
obvious that you know what to do with it. So it is weird. And I don't know much about plants. I'm doing okay. I have
mm,
some things that work really well, but the valve that's in this little shrimp tank right here goes crazy. I have to,
yeah,
and I don't fertilize it at all. I don't
yeah.
ever put ferts.
I
It's
always
in
hear this stuff.
it's in
Hmm.
gravel. You know, there's no, the substrate's just gravel, and I don't even do my water changes in this little 5 gallon like I should. But the Elodia and the Val are just massive.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
it's weird how that works out. Maybe they just don't. Maybe you got to ignore them.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
know.
you're too good.
I think it's my water. You know,
Yeah, probably.
there's something that
Yeah.
doesn't jive with it. But you know, I mean, that's how plants are to me. Is that you got to try different things and see what works. And when you find some that you like and that work, then you know, kind of go with those routes. You know that, and that's a lot of times the advice that I try to give people is
Yeah.
just because I mean, fish tanks, they're like snowflakes or fingerprints, you know, there's no two alike out there.
Yep.
And everybody's water is different and all sorts of different factors.
Yeah, I agree. Fine. You know, and with, in my mind, and I know some people disagree with me, but I think it's the same just with fish themselves too. Is that
Mm-hmm.
try to find those ones that do better in your type of water. And
Mm-hmm.
people always say, well, Paul's in here. Paul and we've had discussions about uh, different cichlids and stuff, and planted tanks where he keeps a lot of different cichlids and very heavily planted tanks and things like that. And
That
there's
always
always a
interests
way
me.
around stuff, and you can
Mm-hmm.
always try things. And
Yeah.
but it seems like you want to try and find those types of fish that do better in your type of water, as opposed to trying to change your water to suit a certain kind of fish.
Yep. Yep. I think that's good advice for the most part. You know,
For the
I
most
always
part,
like to tinker with things in this
sure.
hobby. And so sometimes having patience is the most difficult thing. And I mean, I really don't need an RO system, but I bought one anyways and installed it. And, you know, I mean, I don't, I, a lot of times I just use it to top off tanks and stuff. So I'm not just building up all the hardness in them and stuff.
Yeah.
But add a little more softness to water for like my Ultima Angels that are back here. I got some pistogramma downstairs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Try to use it to soften up the water, but yeah, I mean, usually that's the best advice. Not to
And
is to find stuff that works well with your water and
yeah,
not to mess with things too much because yeah, you can run into troubles.
I am. I do a little bit of the same thing. But I use just rainwater.
Mm-hmm.
We
There you
get
go.
quite a bit of rain too. I mean, there's a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Rochester is the rainiest city in the United States. You don't
Wow.
hear about that, but we do get a lot of. We get lake effect rain. That's
Mm-hmm.
not a term that you hear very often, but we do get it quite often, actually.
Is that
So
like number of inches per year or something? Do you know
yeah,
what the metric is?
well, but that's sometimes it's we have the rainiest month out of the year, but other times it's total precipitation, which can be a little misleading because like we're not. I live an hour west, or excuse me, an hour east of Rochester, and we actually get a lot more snow than they do, just an hour away. It's
Yeah,
amazing because of the lake effect, and just we're towards that end of the lake where the prevailing winds come across.
sure.
So a
It
lot of our
dumps on you
precipitation,
before it gets to them.
well, no, they're the other direction. So it's coming like right towards us, coming right off the lake, whereas they're over in a part that they don't get the prevailing winds as much.
Okay,
They're almost due west of us. They're right on the lake as well, but the winds come at an angle across the lake.
interesting,
So
interesting.
we get a lot more snow than they do, like twice as much snow as they do. And it's
Yeah,
again an hour away. It's just where we're at. Plus, you go a little bit farther, and it's called the Tug Hill Plateau. And the Tug Hill Plateau is one of the snowiest spots in the lower 48.
hmm.
It's a little bit higher elevation than us, and it's on the very, very end of the lake. It's right in that corner. So the winds just come screaming off the lake and hit them. And
Yeah.
there's a town called Hooker on the
Hooker.
Tug Hill Hooker on the Tug
Hooker
Hill
on the Tug
Plateau.
Hill.
Yep.
Wow. That's
It's a
quite
real
the combo.
place. You can look it up. I'm not making it up. That's a real place. And it was about, I don't know how many years now because I've been telling the story forever, but it's been a few years now. But they got 11 feet of snow in 1 week, and it
Holy
wasn't
cow.
their record. It didn't break their record.
Wow.
11 feet in 1 week. So
That's insane.
and that's
Yeah,
pretty
like
common.
I said, the weather here, we're kind of known for rain, but it's really very mild. And there's a lot of places in the country where, you look at total precipitation, it's going to be more than it is here.
Yeah.
We just have a lot of days that are kind of drizzly.
Yeah.
It never really pours here. There's a lot of years
Just
where
a
we don't
constant.
get snow. Some years we do, and it's a day or two or something. It's not like a long ongoing thing. So
Yeah, that constant as opposed to the big storms and stuff. And okay, so I'm not seeing. And again, if you guys have any questions for myself or for Ryan, hit it up with the @ so it pops out for us because I'm not seeing any more questions.
I see Aqua Garden Zen says they are in the Pacific Northwest. That's
Nice.
cool. And then I see Bates and Genetics in here. He's part of the Greater Portland Aquarium Society, and actually it lives in the same town that I do here.
Nice. And I don't think I know Aqua Garden Zen, so I'm not sure if they're new or if I just haven't seen them. But thanks for joining us.
Or maybe it's somebody like me changing their name just to confuse people.
Could be. And Paul says, I don't fight my water parameters. Anything that will thrive in acidic, moderately soft water is in my tanks. Gotcha. And I'm not seeing anything else. So if you've got any questions real quick, then throw those in. Let's see. Next week, I forgot who the guest is. I have John Oliver coming up. I have Guppy Guru, or excuse me. I don't know why I thought that. Geek Boy. Geek Boy will be the last. Who is next week? Oh my God. Why am I forgetting? Oh, no. Trevor. Jeez. Trevor Gregori is next week.
Okay. All right.
Trevor's not very well known in the fish fam, but he does he just moved from Texas to Pennsylvania. So he'll be our guest next week. And again, we're only doing 3 more of them. We've got Trevor, we've got John Oliver, and then we've got, I just said his name. I just said his name. Oh my God. I'm so Geek Boy.
Oh, Geek Boy. Yeah. Geek Boy's got some awesome tanks, man.
Yeah. And he's a good guy. So it's going to be
interesting.
A
couple of things, and yeah, there's a couple of people, like you said, that, they're around in this community a lot that, I don't know if they, they may not have, video content and stuff like that. But those focus-ons that you do with some of those people are really more interesting to me to learn about, these people that I consider friends, here in this community. That often they're more interesting to me than, some of the, gigantic names that you've gotten, which is cool too, of course,
Sure, but I get you because we know so much about some of these big channels. They've been on here for 6 years, 7 years. They've shared a lot about their lives. We already know quite a bit, but like Trevor, a lot of people don't know much about Trevor at all. He doesn't live too far from me now. Like I said, he moved from Texas to Pennsylvania, and he's not too super far from us.
Nice.
But yeah, you're right. I do like those types of, because we see these people day in and day out, or week in and week out. They've been hanging out with us forever, but we know nothing about them. And I just absolutely love that. He is pretty forgettable, Geek Boy says. He's talking about himself.
Yeah, like a good example was Vinay with Color Guppies and stuff. I really enjoyed that episode. That was really
I did
cool.
too, but that was a little selfish because Vinay is actually, he's a friend of mine that he's one of the few people that I've actually met face to face. There's only about 20 fish tubers that I've met face to face. He's one of them, and I consider him a very, very close friend now. And
it seems like a cool guy. I won off of 503 Aquatics off of Shanna's stream. I won some color guppies from him, some Ginga rubra guppies. And yeah, I mean, he was just awesome to deal with as far as, you know, getting the fish here. And he was really interested to check on them and how are they doing. And yeah, just a nice guy. So,
And I bet they were nice fish too, because he does know his
oh
stuff.
yeah, they're really cool. They're really cool. I need to film them and share them with everyone else, but haven't done that yet.
Whip would like to know what's your favorite non-fish fam YouTube channel to watch.
Oh, that I like that question. And yeah, I do watch, you know, I don't, outside of sports, I don't watch a lot of television, but outside of FishTube, I do watch some more YouTube. And generally it's car stuff that, yeah, I'm kind of into cars as well. So,
Okay.
Rich Rebuilds, Doug DeMiro, Hoovie's Garage. Those are like a few of the kind of car channels that I watch.
Gotcha. I like Ozzy Man because he's my kind of sense of humor. He does. I don't know.
I'm
Have
not
you watched
familiar.
him? Oh, it's
No.
he's an Australian, and you know, and he talks about different stuff. His um, he does a lot of compilation videos. People send him videos, and he does voiceover stuff on it. But he's a really funny guy, and
So he like kind of reviews and makes fun of like some cheesy
yeah,
videos and stuff like that.
yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
Different things happening. People doing dumb things. People getting into
Mhm.
fights. People that need to be shouted out. But at the same
Yeah.
time, he also does some wholesome stuff. He's got something called, he's got some videos that are called Destination Eft. You know,
Yeah.
only he uses the correct word,
Oh,
and
okay. Okay.
and those are people that get hurt, but not like really bad. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
people that are surfing and get smacked
Okay.
with a wave. Or one of them, there was a girl who got hit in the face with a bird on one of those slingshot rides. You know, and the bird like hit her right in the face, and stuff where people aren't super hurt, but something they get hurt in a funny way.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
That reminds me of a couple of different things. There's this UFC fighter named Derek Lewis, and I like looking at his Instagram sometimes because he like shares people getting hurt, and then like I think Instagram didn't like that so much for a while, but then he started putting the comment, "He's okay." Down there, and so they let him do it. So it became this kind of joke thing.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was that, yeah, you reminded me of this channel my son and I have been watching a little bit lately that sounds kind of similar, called August the Duck. And
I don't know that one. Yeah,
he takes some pretty like ridiculous YouTube videos and provides commentary over the top of them. And
Gotcha.
they're kind of funny and interesting and stuff like that. Yeah,
Ozzy Man has a huge following. He's interviewed like a bunch of stars like The Rock and Ryan Reynolds and all these people. And he also does a lot of charity work where he raises money for like kids' cancer, different kids, specific kids that are that need help with medical bills and stuff. So he does a lot of that cool stuff as well that shows the human side of it. And when he is making fun of people, he's usually on the right side, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? He's not on the side of the person doing something wrong. He's on the side of the person who's doing the right thing in a video. And you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can see there's a kindness to him, even though he's making fun of some people who get hurt. What were you going to say?
I don't know. He sounds he sounds a little nicer than August the Duck, but sounds kind of similar, But
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, I thought of another kind of genre that I sometimes delve into in YouTube. Also, was that some of the cooking stuff, and I like watching Sam the Cooking Guy sometimes. I don't know if you've ever seen his stuff. Yeah.
My wife watches a bunch of that. She probably knows who that is. She loves those types of.
He makes like some like all these kind of impressive sandwiches and stuff like that. He's a Canadian guy, but he's from the San Diego area, and then I think he either has or had pre-COVID a couple of restaurants down there. But he makes these videos with his kind of adult sons and stuff like that. It's mainly him, and he tried like I think making a a cooking show on regular network television, but it wasn't conducive to his personality, I think. So, here on YouTube, he gets to express that some more.
Gotcha.
And he makes some really good stuff too. So
my son watches somebody. He's a cook that makes a lot of stuff. I don't remember what his name is, but he's been in some other videos too. He's a heavy set guy. He's actually got neck tattoos.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He's got sort of a, sometimes he's got a high pitched voice, like he gets excited.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've watched that guy. I can't think of his name right now. Seems
like Maddie. His name is Maddie something.
Yeah. Yep. That sounds right.
Mm-hmm. My youngest son is our cook in the house, though. He's in between jobs now. He just quit his last job, and we told him it's okay. He was really super unhappy there, and he's trying to do different things in college. And well, regardless, he, now that he's home and not working full time, he's our cook, and he'll turn 20 in let's see, 13 days. No, 11 days. He'll be 20, and he's a good cook. He's a good cook.
Nice. So, and I'm glad you encouraged him to, get out of a miserable situation. That
he lives at home. He doesn't have bills. He's still figuring things out.
I
don't expect him to. I expect him when he's here to do stuff. When now that he's here, he's got a lot of chores. He's gonna help out. When he's working, he doesn't have as many. But
for sure. But it took my wife and I a long time. She had a job for quite a while that she was really unhappy in. When I kind of alluded to it a little bit, but when I was doing that, managing that labor place, there's a lot of times where I was really unhappy there and stuff. And life's too short to be spending years and years doing a majority of your time, your waking hours, doing stuff that you hate.
Yep. So I agree 100%. You got to find.
It's easier said than done, depending on your situation, but. I encourage people if they're in that situation to try to do something about it and move into a different direction.
I agree. Find something that you at least don't mind doing. You don't have to love what you do, but don't mind. Let's see. So Matt would like to know if you're familiar with pooter scooting.
Pooter scooting. I've heard the term.
Now, have you heard the term in relation to fishfam, or have you heard the term before and stuff?
I think I had heard it before.
Okay,
but I don't really know the reference or follow along.
So I had never heard it before, and a lot of other people were sort of making fun of me a little bit that I hadn't. They're like, "You're so friggin' old, you should know this," and I've never heard it.
Yeah, I guess I'm just as old.
Familiar in my area, but. A pooter scooting is basically, now the way I thought it meant something else when I was told what it means, but it basically just means you're out there running around doing things. That's basically what it means.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the context that I've heard it in.
Yeah. But Dee Dee said it when in her interview, and it just came out totally different. And it was funny, and it's taken on a life of its own. And I asked for people to change it up a little bit, and I asked for images of Putin scooting. So Putin, Vladimir Putin is
like
Vladimir.
Vladimir.
Yeah,
indeed.
Didn't sound right.
Yep.
Yeah, so they put him on a scooter. So there's a bunch of pictures out there of him on a scooter. So it's Putin scooting.
Nice.
All right. Nice. Let's see. Matt also says check out Goons Squad. Richard said, thanks for the advice. Always wonder if we could use epoxy in aquarium. Glad I asked. Very good. Let's see. Destination F.
Caution.
Yes. Metalhead's got that. He knows Aussie Man. Jay Oliver came in. We were talking about you, John, earlier in a good way. Like falling off the ladder. All right. We got that. And we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. While I'm looking for other questions or anything else, is there anything you want to tell anybody? They've been, like I said, the mods have been dropping your links the whole time and hopefully getting some people over to view your stuff.
I usually stream on Wednesday nights, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. I've had a bunch of great guests on there, including Rico Stan. Tomorrow night is going to be Alex from The Secret History, Living in Your Aquarium. And I already got I have one of his shirt artwork. I was able to do that with Rico, and I think I got a Daniken shirt, but I certainly don't have a shirt for everyone.
Now, is that your shirt, or because before you told me it was your son's shirt that you hung up?
Yeah. The Rico Stand shirt is Trenton's, although I think it's a cool shirt. I might get one of my own. And but this this artwork is called Clockwork Salmon, or Clockwork Chinook, I believe. And
Gotcha.
I was looking for some of his art because I wanted to see what his art looked like and stuff. But all I could really find was his kind of merchandise and stuff. But I saw this, which is both. It's art and merchandise. And
he does have some artwork out there. I can't remember the name of the site, but he definitely has a site that you can go back and look at. You know what? Maybe it wasn't for sale. Maybe it was just images of all of his. Maybe it was his portfolio or something instead. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, it might have just been his portfolio. Anyways.
Yeah, but Chinook salmon. I mean, if I had to pick, my favorite aquarium fish should probably be something different. But if I had a river and an ocean, then I could keep a Chinook salmon. I think Chinook salmon's my favorite fish for sure. So
nice.
Had to snatch that one up for you.
I know they taste good.
Yes, I love them in the water, on the grill, in my belly, in my mouth.
I do love some salmon. Hey, there's Color Guppies right there. He wants to know if you ever offer plants or clippings for sale.
I need to get into doing that more. I sometimes I end up with this way too many plants, especially the stem plants. And so that when I was gearing up for Fishtoberfest, to help out with that and then sell some plants there. And so I've done that or sold some through the club and whatnot, but I haven't really expanded beyond that. I need to do that, whether it's, maybe promoting it through my channel and selling it to the fish fam or at least just do like a local thing where I could put up ads on Craigslist. I don't have a Facebook account, but I've considered doing one just for the fish stuff.
That's right.
I'm trying to hold out and not do that.
I'm with you.
I don't know. I've got this weird pride, and no offense to people that are on Facebook, but that I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah, I get it. I am on there.
Enough stuff between family and YouTube and work and. Like I mentioned before, I go onto Reddit and it's enough for me.
There's Ricky pooping again. Thank you, Ricky.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Big time supporter.
Let's see. All right. We're at the bottom. I think that's a good time to cut it off. So yeah, we talked about what's coming up. Fish Fam Christmas. We're very close. We've got a week left. We've got 7 days left until the cutoff for channels to sign up. I'm not really looking for donations from Fish Fam people. I think you guys have done an amazing job. Thank you so much. You've all donated a huge amount. I'm still waiting on some companies to come in. I did have to I had to look at the totals. I thought we had closer to $12,000 in donations, but a lot of the companies that said that they're interested haven't responded.
Haven't followed through yet.
I've called, I've sent emails, and we're talking about like 3-4 weeks of time from when the time they said that they wanted to, and there was nothing. So we're currently sitting at $9,360 though, that we'll be giving away over 41 channels. Wow. We're going to be splitting that over 41 channels. So that's a pretty good thing. Again, if you know a channel and go in here, if the mods, well, I've already got it open, but they'll probably hit it up before me anyways, because they are amazing mods.
I'm not doing any mod work today.
Yeah. Ryan's a mod on the channel. There you go. You can take a look at that spreadsheet. There's information on that about, how it's working and all kinds of different things. You can see all of the channels. Spread list. You can see all the channels, and I suggest that you subscribe to those channels so that you can win over that time period. But if you know
Yeah, that's
somebody,
something I still need to do. Is I bet I'm a subscribed to a bunch of them, but yeah, I'd kind of like to run through that whole list and make sure I'm subscribed to all of them.
which
Because yeah, I want that chance to win.
yeah, and I just
Hmm.
realized that I still had you under natural, so uh, I made the change there just now.
Nice,
So
nice.
you
Thank you.
so it's reflective of the actual name. If you see somebody that a channel that live streams that's not signed up, please mention it to them. Don't be pushy, obviously, but mention it to them. See if they're interested in it. Let them know they can get a hold of me. I'm Rico Stan on Facebook. I have an account there specifically for fishfam. You can also get a hold of me. The email is on the spread list. You know, um, Tell them to hit me up, and we'll get them on there. I'd like to get a few more channels signed up to.
Yeah,
And again, it doesn't come out of that channel's pocket in any way. I come up and do a giveaway, and the giveaway is totally from donations from the fish fam and from companies and stuff like that. It doesn't. There's no negative side to the channels that are hosting it. All they're going to do is get some extra viewers and subscribers to their channel,
well, and
and
the
be able to give
coolest
away
thing
something
is that
cool.
one of their viewers is gonna
Yes,
win like a
good
pretty
gifts.
substantial prize.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've got $100 for every channel that signs up from Aquarium Co-op. That's just one of the things. So every
Yeah.
single channel on there is going to have at least $100. More than that, we've got a whole bunch of other stuff. We've got 5 $100 gift cards for keepfishkeeping.com from KG Tropicals, Houston Manzanita, KGE Aquatics, Bulk Reef Supply. All these companies, API, just a bunch of companies have donated to this thing. So it's gotten
Mhm.
huge. And I don't want anybody to miss out because they didn't know about it.
Yep.
So
Yep. And then a bunch of yeah, I think you've already alluded to this, but a bunch of money that just the fish fam has donated to this
yes.
cause. You know.
Yes, just a lot of it. Ton of different people in the fish fam have, given us $10, $100, $50. Just a huge amount from all the different
Mhm.
people, and that's sort of why I said I'm not looking for any more donations. I think people have done plenty from the fish fam. You guys have given tons of money towards it. If you want to, fine. The information's in there, but I think we're pretty good on that. We've got
Yeah.
a pretty good amount to give away for each channel. But I
Indeed.
would love to get some of these other companies to come forward and let us know what they're going to give us. Or if
Yeah.
they
And
all
it's
said, yes, we're very interested. I want to do this. We want to be on board. And then I said, cool. What do you want to do? Well, let me send this over to marketing. Okay, marketing. Hey, and then I got to go through it again. And
mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, you know,
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
unfortunate.
Oh
Yeah,
well,
I think it's a good
is what it is.
investment for them. Some aquarium companies, they don't realize how powerful YouTube is.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, look at
and
how Corey's built his business.
yeah,
The Greater Portland Aquarium Society, we made this event, Fishtoberfest, and it was a huge success, and a lot of it was getting the word out on YouTube, and me and Kenny and everybody else mentioning it, and yeah,
yeah. It
I
is a
think
great tool. And I've
some.
included in the emails, here's roughly how many people will be seeing your name on a giveaway.
Mhm, yeah.
So we're looking at a ton of viewers for you. We shout it out. We let people know, just like I just did. And when
Mhm,
your actual giveaway occurs, I will let you know so that you can come be there. You can
yeah.
watch the giveaway. If let's say you're only giving away one thing, you can be there to watch it being given away and sort of bask in the adoration of the people that
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, seems like it'd be fun for some people, and yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
All right, well, thanks everybody for being here. Still a lot of good streams tonight. We've got ladies night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Dee Dee and Jess and Shanna. That's a blast. It is it's a lot of fun. We've
oh
got
yeah,
Bentley Pasco at 9 o'clock. We might have Catfish Terry. He mentioned he might start going again. Uh, we've also got
cool.
Dr. Black later and somebody else that I'm forgetting, and I apologize. But
Kevin usually goes on Tuesdays, I think, too.
okay, yeah, he's late. That's why I never see his. He's like 1 o'clock
Yeah,
my
yeah,
time usually.
real late.
So
It's yeah, for the night owls or us West Coast people.
yeah.
But yeah, bunch of good stuff.
All right,
More
guys.
fishy fun.
we got everything, Ryan? Is there anything? Did you want to say anything else? We got.
I think that's it. You know everything about me, and we'll leave it at that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me on. It's a lot of fun and interesting to be on this side of it. I like this series and learning more about people, and I often find it interesting. And yeah, hopefully there was a nugget or two for people in there.
Yeah, I think so. And it's nice that we know we have an epoxy expert. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here, and go show some love on the other streams tonight. Take care.